Hello everyone, welcome to this presentation. My name is Abu Asaduzzaman. I am an associate professor of computer engineering. My research lab is Computer Architecture and Parallel Programming Laboratory. We call it CAP Lab. The topic of my today's presentation is a real-time imaging system to assist surgical procedures. In this presentation, first I will introduce the problem, and then I'll talk about our contributions. Then I will present the proposed image processing mechanism that has two major parts. First part is detecting malignant cells. Under that, I will briefly talk about the methodology that we used, and I will share some experimental results. Second part is guiding surgical procedures. Under that, I will explain how contours can be drawn to pinpoint regions of interest and how the rate of change in pixel values can be calculated to pinpoint the regions of interest. And then I will conclude this presentation. Real-time imaging technology has potential to be applied to many complex surgical procedures. Key delaying factors for developing real-time surgical imaging solutions include long execution time due to poor medical infrastructure and inaccuracy in processing images. In this work, we introduce a novel imaging technique that identifies malignant cells and supports surgical procedures by analyzing images in real time with excellent accuracy. In the proposed method, hidden attributes of target images are extracted and analyzed using machine learning techniques to determine if there are malignant cells. A malignant image is divided into contours, and the rate of change in pixel values is calculated to pinpoint the regions of interest for surgical procedures. Experimental results show 99% accuracy to identify malignant cells, and the rate of change in pixel values to determine the regions of interest with more than 98% accuracy. Figure 1 illustrates the major components of the proposed image processing mechanism part 1, where we classify an image as benign or malignant. Major component includes pre-processing, region of interest detection, feature extraction, and data analysis. I will briefly talk about these four major steps. First is pre-processing, where we start with the original image, then it goes through background removal, then unsharp mask, and then we end up with filtered image. That filtered image is used for region of interest detection. So we feed that binary image, and then it goes through edge detection process. And after edge detection, as we see, it kind of filters again for the region of interest. For some images, there may be more than one region of interest. And then we put some color on that region of interest. So if you look at the last image in this slide and the first image on the left-hand side, so it's pretty much the same image. However, here, applying some red color, we pinpoint the region of interest that we want to do more analysis on. So after we have region of interest, then we do feature extraction. In this work, we do consider geometrical features and textural features. For geometrical features, we use area and perimeter. So as shown in figure 4, a region of interest probably will have a random shape. But if it is a circular shape or rectangular shape, then we can use geometric formula to calculate the area and perimeter. But if they are in some random shape, then we break it down into smaller pieces, and then we calculate area of each smaller piece, and then we add them up. And once we have this region of interest, then we can also extract the values for each and every pixel. As shown in figure 4, a 7x8 matrix is created from a 7x8 pixels of that region of interest. Now, if we increase the pixel areas, then the matrix will be bigger. So that's how we collect the equivalent digital values of each and every pixel. Then we do calculate mean values, global mean, standard deviation, entropy, and skewness out of those pixel values. Now, from Digital Database for Screening Mammography, DDSM, and Mammographic Image Analysis Society, MIAS, we do use 1,383 DDSM images and 122 MIAS images in this study. We use several tools. Photonomia DX, that one is used to view the images, and MATLAB is used to extract some key features, and LDA and SBM. LDA is for linear discriminant analysis, and SBM is support vector machine. These two methods are used for classifying purposes, and Microsoft Excel is used to do some pre-processing and post-processing. For example, for LDA and SBM method, we need to calculate the weights, and that weight is calculated using the LDA and SBM tool. However, that classifying part is done on Excel using those weights. And OpenCV will be used for developing that contours to pinpoint the region of interest. That is the second part of the research. After we have feature extracted, then we do data analysis using those extracted digital values, again using LDA and SBM methods. To calculate the LDA value, we use the raw values and then the weights that we calculate. And then for SBM value, we use the normalized value of that input values, like mean value, global mean, area, those are the values. And then the weights that are calculated for classifying purposes. Now I'll share some result. Both results here shows area of either benign tumors or malignant tumors. Left hand side for benign tumors, right hand side for malignant tumors. What we observe is that for some benign cells or tumors, it shows very high area value. That is not correct. On the other hand, for some malignant cells, it doesn't show any area values. That is also misleading. So we do conclude that although area values can be used to identify benign and malignant tumors, but they are not 100% trusted. Similar observation we get out of mean value for benign and malignant tumors. So we conclude that some feature values are not very significant in terms of classifying them into malignant and benign. Then we do the experiment on some other extracted feature values. For example, standard deviation. What we see here is there is no overlapping between benign and malignant tumors. Similarly, for entropy values, using benign tumors and malignant tumors, we do not see any overlapping. So we conclude that these features are very influential in terms of classifying images into benign and malignant. But what we do, we actually consider all of them. Like as shown in this table, we do consider mean value, global mean value, standard deviation, the entropy value, skewness, and this set of values are using some MIAS images, and we apply both LDA and SBM methods. And looking at that last part, we see that benign images are clearly identified with negative LDA value and negative SBM values, whereas malignant images are identified as positive values for both LDA and SBM analysis. So that shows that this methodology is useful to accurately classify benign and malignant images. Similar experiment we did with DDSM images, and we also observed similar outcomes. For benign images, both LDA and SBM gives negative values, and for malignant images, both LDA and SBM gives positive values. So this part concludes the first part, that is classifying images into benign and malignant. Now, second part, we start with malignant images for fine-tuning that region of interest to facilitate surgical procedure. So we start with the original image, and this part is done by OpenCV libraries. So we start with the original images, and then we do apply some threshold. After applying threshold, we get the area that we are interested in. For those areas, we develop a contour, and we find that center value, and from that center, we draw the lines to calculate the rate of change of pixel values. And that rate of change, obviously, inside that area, there is very minimal, the rate of change of pixel values. But once we hit that edge or boundary line, after that, suddenly that rate of change increases for obvious reason, because this part, the cells are infected and outside cells are good. So that helps to identify the area or boundary or edge where surgical procedures needs to be conducted. The rate of change at the edge for each contour that we found was very accurate. We only got 0.05% skewed. So that is very significant. Now, in this study, we present a computer-assisted imaging technique to correctly categorize mammogram images as malignant or benign and identify infected areas for real-time surgical procedures. Pattern analysis machine learning techniques, LDA and SBM, these methods are used to develop a training function using the obtained feature values of the selected images. Experimental results suggest that the proposed imaging technique is effective in identifying cancerous infected regions to assist surgical procedures in real time. We plan to extend this work to three-dimensional medical imaging and three-dimensional data processing. So that concludes the topic that I am supposed to present. Now I'll take a couple of moments and I'll share few activities of my research lab. My research lab got supports from Kansas NSF through FSCore project and from NVIDIA, NetApp, Cybertron PC, and some other industries. The research work that I have presented today, part of that has been published as a book chapter in Springer SIVA, Interactive Approaches, recently. Last summer, two of my students and I worked as a summer faculty and student at Berkeley Lab under the supervision of Dr. John Schalf of Computational Research Group. During our summer project, we developed PyRTL code and synthesized using OpenRoad tool for hardware acceleration. And we got some interesting results. Recently, with my collaborators, we published an article in IEEE ACM transaction on computational biology and bioinformatics. Currently, I'm working on a research article titled "A Communication-Aware Cache Mediator for High-Performance Computer Systems to Achieve Scalable Performance." And my research lab, CAP Lab, earned top research designation by NVIDIA. And I want to acknowledge one of the collaborators, Dr. Henry Neiman of the University of Oklahoma. I would like to thank you all for listening to my presentation. And I would like to request you to send me your questions or suggestions, or if there is any way I can help you with my lab facilities and the expertise that me and my group has. Again, thank you all for listening to this presentation.